Welcome, and here is the walkthrough for a template for the workbook for my workshop, How to Write a Clear Process Anyone Can Follow, also known as the Documentation Writing Workshop. As you can see here, you can get a link to the course. This is what the course page, which you can purchase if you want to, but if you just want the workbook, we're going to continue talking about the workbook. After you've gone through this, you can easily get to each section using these links. I'm not going to do that right now because we're just going to scroll through and talk about it. So how to use this workbook. There is a Google Doc version. There's a PDF version because I know some companies don't allow Google Docs. So when you purchase this template, there are links on the page as well as in the documents to both versions as needed. There are yellow boxes here for you to fill in. The yellow box means you fill in your information. Because even during class, while people are in the workshop, they don't have access to the slides yet, and neither do you if you're just purchasing the workbook on your own. So some of that information is included, such as these guidelines for success for doing the pre-work, which I'll discuss in a minute. There are notes in italics, which usually mean they are context or examples. I'll do a quick scroll so we can see that. So instruction steps, fill in step 1, step 2, step 3. Those are kind of some instructions. I think I have any more instructions, maybe not. We're going to go back to the instructions at the top. Let's see, here we go. Anything else you need to know? Please make adjustments as needed to make the content more relevant for you and your company. This is your space, so customize it as you need. You're welcome to share within your company and your future companies. And you can read the rest of these notes about feedback and discounts on other templates or courses. So the first section is pre-work. It's usually pre-work, but before you do the rest of this work in the workbook, you're going to want to think of 2 or 3 ideas of documentation that you're going to want to work on do in the workbook. And you can put those ideas here. It's just like a brainstorming space. There are some guidelines to help make it easier for yourself. Because you may have like a million processes to choose from and you don't know where to start. I actually do have a whole course in the main 2-week course about prioritizing where to start, and I'll have a template available soon to help with more prioritization. So in class, you would have notes here because some people have had feedback that they want to have everything all in one place, their notes from class and also the workbook. So I added that. If you're just purchasing the workbook, and not the class, you can write your own notes here about things you've learned on your own, or you can just skip this page. The next template is for writing the steps, because that is usually a good place to start. The first step of writing the steps. There are a few tips here from class, and then there is space for you to write the task or process name and then your steps. You're welcome to copy and paste this table if you have more than one that you're working on at the same time as you're trying to decide what to do first. There is a second template about naming. You can write, or you can read actually, about why that's important so people can find the documentation and use it. That's super important, and or update it. So we were going to brainstorm 5 ideas about what could a possible naming convention be, and there's some tips here from class that you can read. There's some space for you to do that. And then you have some time for reflection and thinking about what format do you think works best, etc. What's going to be clear. The third template is structure, and this template is also available as a separate template for sale, but you get it included in this one. There is the template, which is the same as what's in the workbook. The difference here is this document has an example of a completed piece of documentation using a template. But you have choices. You can complete the exercise by making a copy of the template or as a new document, or just copying it into new pages. You have some space here if you make a new document so you can find all your work in one place as you're working through this. Advice from class, because even if you're in class, you don't have the slides yet as you're working on this during class. During the individual work time. And then this is the template that's included, a suggested template for writing documentation that is explained in several places. All the italics are kind of context and kind of hints for yourself or instructions. The last template in the workbook is about visuals, because visuals are super important to add to your documentation. You may just want to add notes describing the visuals you want to add so it doesn't slow you down from making everything else. I have some examples of some notes here, examples of visuals, and you can either use this space here in this yellow boxes to write down your ideas for visuals, or you can write the notes like this directly into your documentation if it lives in another place while you're working on this workbook. And we have after class or after you finish everything, if you're not in class, give some spaces to link everything together. And next steps to transfer into your project management system. I also have some additional resources at the end about what is business process documentation, some links, some things to watch, some things to read. Oh, and we get to celebrate finishing your workbook. And again, a reminder about some discounts from purchasing the template. So thanks for watching. And if you have any questions before you purchase or after you purchase, please contact me. Thank you.